Yeah, it reminds me of my beginning days when Andy came to the Netherlands. Um, how he told me, no, you invite them, they come to us. You invite them, they come to us. Otherwise, what are you? Otherwise, you're just a salesperson that goes knocking on everybody's door. Hey, 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 I've got this, I've got this. And we, from the beginning onwards, we did like that. And for everybody here, with Zoom, you don't have to get out of the house. But when I started, maybe for Michaelis people, just quickly also my story is I was I was a breathing techniques and meditation trainer for 13 years. I have a background as a sales manager till my 27th. I'm 50 years old now. I'm a father of three right now and three children, and I'm married with my wife Eva. And I got into a difficult situation many years back. I got into a conflict with one of my best friends at that time, who was also my employer. And that conflict basically escalated. And then he fired me on the 4th of April. And why is that so significant? Because on the 4th of April, it's our wedding day. So he fired me on our wedding day. And that was like not a divorce, but we were so close with everybody. I put my whole heart and soul, everything in a nonprofit organization for 10 years, working 60 to 80 hours a week. Not for the money. I was earning 600, 800 euros a month at that moment in time. I did it for nonprofit. And I don't have any regrets on that part. But when he fired me, it was like, yeah, it was like a blow in my face that I never ever expected. And that gave me emotional knockdown. Um, on the other side, my wife Eva, she resigned from the job. Then the company went bankrupt, and um, and she basically didn't have any rights on government pay because she resigned from the job. So where did it leave us? It left us that we had in 2012 we needed to live from 25 euros a week. That's what we had to buy groceries from. So as you can imagine, maybe that was a lot of financial stress. So I didn't feel like a husband. I didn't feel like a father. I felt really lousy. I couldn't provide. And because of the stress, there were a lot of fights in the house because it was like boom, boom, boom in the house. It was not nice. And this took 3 weeks, to be exact, 3 weeks. And then, um, then we found out that my wife was pregnant of our second child. And that was as I said before, it was not from the radio, but it was the wake up call. It was like, whoa, wait, what am I doing, man? What are we doing? It didn't change. The situation was still the same, but my perception changed. And it was, okay, now I'm going to be a father again. I can sit like this. Oh my God, I'm so sorry for myself and everything. Because I was basically. Now I need to change now. I need to change. I didn't know how, but this is something that I did. I decided. I said, okay, you know what? I decide. And the power of decision is strong inside each and every one of us. It's however you want to call it. Decision making is your internal source, your voice of God, voice of reason, whatever you want to call it. It's that we all have, we can all utilize. And and then within a few days, Andy came and he called me up and maybe he was sitting in this room like you're calling people up, and he called me up and basically he said to me, "We gates," and I said, "Not so good." And I told him this story, longer version, and then he said to me like, "Okay, what do you want to do?" I said, "Well, I want to help some people. I truly want to help people. Um, want to give something back. On the other side, I need money because I don't want to work my whole life for money. I don't want to do that. I didn't have the apartments like Michaela, but I was reading Robert Kiyosaki's book, Rich Dad Poor Dad, and I was um, sharing that with all my students. I have a few thousand students that did breath work with me, meditation with me throughout well, the whole of Europe, also India, I taught. And in that book, there's a sentence. And that sentence, I forgot. But can you relate to the fact that you open a book and then you read the sentence and you're like, Whoa, this sentence is for me now. And who can relate to that by show of hands? Who can relate? Yeah, we can all relate. Eh? So the sentence was, if you're working for money and you stop working and you stop earning money, then you are stuck in the system that 99% of all the people are stuck in. And that was another wake up call, because then I thought like, oh my God, I'm in the 99, but I also knew there's also 1%. I can choose to be in the one. I don't know how, but I can choose. And then Andy came. He told me the compensation plan. He told me everything. He had success, and then I just jumped on the ship with him. I was insecure. I was insecure in the sense I didn't know if I can do it. I was also thinking like, oh my God, how he explains a presentation. I will never be able to do it. And then he said again, you don't have to do it. I will come and do it. Okay, really? So only thing that I needed to do was invite. So that's what I did. He came from Austria to the Netherlands. There were 20 people would come. They all said to me, I'm going to come, I'm going to come, even on the day itself. And then 10 didn't come. I was like, what? And then he said, I said, I was ashamed, I was like, oh, he came with the flight. He came all the way from Austria, and these 20 people would come, and he's, what? Oh my God. I felt embarrassed, okay. And then he said, no, it's normal. Focus on the 10. Focus on the 10 that are here. But my mind was focused on the 10 that were not here. I was like, where are they? Where are they? Long story short, he worked with me for 3 days, two and a half. And he came to my house for 2.5 days. He let me do a little bit of presentation, a little bit of presentation, a little bit of presentation. And I said, no, 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 you do it, you do it. No, do a little bit, do a little bit, do a little bit. We worked on my why on the beach and in Kijkduin, and we sat there and he said, oh, tell your why. He first explained, how is your why? What is your why? And I was listening. Oh, so nice. He's telling me so nice stories. And then he said, now you share your why. Huh? What, me? Oh, I don't want to share my why. I was like, I cannot share my why, how to do that. Well, all these things happened, and a lot of embarrassment. I the thing what in my head was all the time, he's so good, I'm so bad, I don't want to do it. And when he would, now you do the presentation, and he was sitting next to me. I was like, shit, man, I will make mistakes. But the thing was, it was good to make mistakes because he is there to mentor me. But I wanted to do it perfect. I wanted to do it perfect. You understand? So he explained it to me, and then after 3 days he left. He needed to go back to Austria, and that was horrible at first, but it was the best thing that could happen to me, because then I needed to take charge. And I called up people. I just went. I also people came, but also went to people. I just went there and I asked for referrals. I was with my grandmother, and I said, "Okay, Nani, you wanna take this product? It's good for your diabetics. It's parenterals. It can unclog the everything, whatever." And she said yes. And then I said, maybe you know somebody that also wants to use this, and maybe somebody is sick. Maybe somebody needs some money, whatever. And then she said, yeah, I know somebody. And I went to this uncle. I said, can you call her? Can you call this uncle up for me? She called him up and then said, this is Ajay, blah, blah, blah. We're related. He's my uncle, but I only met him once. Then she gave the phone to me. I explained. He said his wife needed something for her joints. I said, well, you know what? Where do you live? Oh, The Hague. Oh, I'm in The Hague right now. I said, okay. If you want, I can drive by. I drove by. Then we talked. She asked me all kinds of questions. Like, oh my God, I don't know the answers. Andy said, send me your SMS. Send an SMS. He gave me what kind of products she could use, and she ordered it. And that's how I started. And in 3 months, I was gold. In 2.5 years, we were 3-star diamond. And then I basically worked. It was up, down, a lot of insecurities, a lot of I will not be able to do it. At one point in time, but you start owning yourself more. And I didn't work for 6 years. Also, the concept. We traveled for 3 years in a motorhome through Spain and Portugal in the COVID period, and very grateful that the money came in. Because of that, we could do this. And I know my team knows this story, but a little bit of extra things now they know also. But if
And
you're,
perhaps now, because we run some time out, and
yeah,
we wanted to share this from 1 to 5 star, no?
yeah. So that's my story. That's how I did it. And yeah, and I just
Why
wanted
did you start now again?
why did I start now again? Well, my wife got very sick in 2000, well, what is it, 1.5 years back, something like that. And she almost passed away, almost died in front of my eyes, actually. And that was horrible, the the experience. And and then at one point in time, I believe we both believe, Eva and me both believe that things don't happen for nothing. Things happen for a reason. And at one point, um, because she got something in the brain, her right side got completely numb. She came into a wheelchair. I took care of the kids for 24 hours a day for almost the whole year. The first 3 months she was in a room for 23 hours. She couldn't stand any sound. Um, and then but she is 99.7% she recovered. And yesterday was her birthday. So
Ah,
we first planned on the 3rd of May. I said, we cannot, on the 3rd of May, we cannot do it. We need to do it on the 4th. So yesterday we celebrated her birthday. And so I'm very grateful for that. But we asked at one point in time, what does this disease want to tell us, want to tell me, want to tell her? I'm not going to elaborate a lot, but for me, at one point in time, I realized not working 6 years and actually not feeling that good, I realized, Ajay, you need to do something with your talents. You need to give this again to the world and you need to utilize your talents for yourself also. Because you will feel good when you do the things that you need to do, that you need to be doing on this planet. And and when I realized that, I started again. And I started in um, you could say January, actually 27th of December 2023 I started. So January 2024 we started, and in this last year we had 100% growth. So we grew, we doubled the organization in 1 year, just um, with a decision to do it again, a decision to make a difference, a decision to dream again, to set goals, very important, and to do this with a team. I'm very grateful for everybody in my team to do this together. And we all make a difference together. And that's what we did. And that's why I started again, because it's needed for me as well as for the world. And that's also for you all. You all need to do this for you. You have something really big in you, really good in you. And sometimes the voice wants to keep you down, but that's not your real voice. That's your inner critic that wants to keep you down. You need to break out. And sometimes you just need to take action.